Hey, this is Trader Travis, and welcome to another Philosophical Friday. If you're new to Philosophical Friday, it's a once or twice a month training where I share some of the best tips and lessons I learned from my millionaire mentors about, how to process the challenges of life from the viewpoint of a millionaire. How does a millionaire think about everyday challenges that people face? For instance, today I want to talk about the dark and depressing side of success. How would you feel if you accomplish all of your goals and dreams early? Let's say you had the goal of becoming a millionaire by 50. What if you achieved that, by 30? And what if you're not just a millionaire? What if you get $6 billion? How would you feel? Well, most people who haven't achieved that would say they would feel great. And I am here to tell you that in my experience, it's a very scary place. Success can be a very scary place. And I've only ever heard maybe two other successful people talk about this. And, I received an email I want to share here in a moment where I said, I wish more successful people would share this because if I knew this beforehand, maybe I would have felt like I was normal. And because the way it's explained is it's a very scary place when you've achieved everything you've always wanted to do. It's a very unsettling place. Depression is pretty common. And it's like you lose your sense of purpose because for many years, your sense of purpose was chasing this dream. And then when you achieve this dream, you're like, now what? You didn't plan beyond that success. And so you're left wondering, what are you going to do with the rest of your life? And it can be a very scary place. Another thing that people find surprising is that, sometimes success can be scary. And I know it doesn't make sense logically, but stick with me here. Well, I'll show you an example here. I received an email from Tony, and I asked, Tony if I could interview him about his success, but, I haven't heard back from him. But even still, if you happen to be listening to this, Tony, I wanted to publicly, let you know you're my hero. Thanks for having the courage to, share what you're going through, for having the tenacity to be learning at the young age of 62, while others use their age as an excuse to not even get started. And thanks for finally pushing me over the edge to talk about something that's haunted me for a very long time. And again, that's the dark and depressive side of success. So let me go ahead and read this email here. It says, Travis, I wish you and your family all the best for Thanksgiving. That's a word which describes you perfectly because you embody both in all you do. Thank you very much there. I've been dormant in the background, frightened of both failure and success. But recently, the threat of losing my job made me realize my only failure was inaction. By sitting on the sidelines doing nothing, I was letting my life slip by. And so I decided I needed to do something. I remember how inspiring your talks and lessons were. And so I decided to go back through all the material from the first description about the farmer's field right up to the last lessons. As I relearned and listened to your words of encouragement as well as mild admonishment, I realized I was the only person who could make a real difference for the future. I also felt an increasing calm take over as I realized I was now actively taking control of my and my family's future. I began looking at the program in 2010, and I joined. And after completing the course, I studied a little more and then began paper trading. Over the next 6 months, I paper traded and had a success rate of 45% return on investment, which gave me the confidence to go live. I sold my car and placed the funds with Options Express. I placed 6 trades and maintained my return on investment at 42%. And then the doubt started to creep in. I was afraid of losing money and strangely afraid of succeeding. I used a flat market as an excuse to stay in cash until now and often felt I had let myself and you down by not trying more. After going back through all the material, I am virtual trading again with Options Express, and over the past 3 weeks have placed 6 trades which currently are returning 5% return on investment. I have a couple of good ones and a few duds, but now the duds don't concern me anymore. I realize they are part of the experience. Initially, I felt I had wasted 3 years and kept wondering where I could have been now, how big could my count have been, but I realized that isn't going to solve anything either. So I stopped beating myself up, second guessing, and got on with changing things. Now I wake up feeling content and happy with the world. I have a goal in life, and that spurs me on. I have the total support and commitment of my wonderful wife, and I have total faith in your teachings, knowing the formulas work. I've proved it twice. My aim now is to teach my children what you have taught many of us in the world of trading and self-improvement. But above all, they must believe in themselves. With that, they can achieve anything. I'm 62 now, and my fervent wish is that I am blessed with enough time to teach my family and leave them with a lasting legacy of financial freedom. Well, thank you so much, Tony. And again, you may find that very surprising that a person can succeed and be scary. But guess what? It hit a nerve with me because I experienced it also. It makes, logically, it makes no sense whatsoever. But just like Tony, what I have found is that, action seems to make this feeling go away. Action solved a lot of Tony's issues. Action, brought that sense of calm over his life because he realizes, just like all successful people realize, is that, you are solely in control and responsible for where you are or are not in life. Now, a lot of victims will want to blame society and politics and things like that. But all the successful people I learned from always told me that, I am responsible for my life. Not necessarily I am the one to blame for a lot of things in my life, but I am responsible about how I react to the challenges of life and, where I want to go. No, if Tony had sat and let his stinking thinking, that negative, soundtrack keep playing in his brain, he wouldn't be where he's at. He wouldn't have that, confidence in his future. He wouldn't be, willing to teach his kids about financial freedom because he would be still stuck in that stinking thinking. It's like a broken record that plays over and over your head. But again, when you take action, that for whatever reason just drowns out that noise. And he said in the beginning, he realized that his only failure was inaction. And I have to agree. A couple other things I resonated with, just like Tony, I sold my car to fund my first real life trading account. That's an excuse a lot of people have. Well, I don't have enough money to trade with. Excuses are the tools of, this is what my mentor used to say, excuses are the tools of losers, and with those tools, they build castles of nothingness. You have to separate the difference between an obstacle and an excuse. Not having enough money is an obstacle, not an excuse. Obstacles can be overcome, but excuses cannot. The moment somebody says, I don't have enough money to fund my trading account, and they use that as an excuse, that person will never, ever get the money. That person most likely will never, ever succeed unless they learn how to look at things as obstacles to be overcome. How can I that's a better question. Never say I don't have, say how can I get? Then your brain goes to work and comes up with solutions. Now, I know this sounds all woo-woo and all that stuff, but, just speaking from my own experience, it sounded woo-woo to me when I first heard all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah. One ear went in one ear and out the other. But over time, I humbled myself when I realized I'm spinning my wheels. It's been many years. I'm still not where I want to be. So let me humble myself and listen to all this advice I have been hearing all these years and just trust it. These people are where I want to be. This is what they're saying I need to do. They're saying I need to take responsibility for my life. They're saying I need to stop making excuses. Let me just follow their advice and then see where my life takes me. I have nothing to lose. So that's all I have for you today. I just want to make you aware of that when you succeed, that if you feel scared or depressed or anxious, that is normal. It's happened to me, it's happened to other people, but massive action is the only way I've found to cure those feelings. Also, if you happen to achieve your dream of financial freedom, it can be a scary place. One of my friends she owns, or manages one of the largest retirement communities online. And she will tell you that, macho cops who've been cops their whole life, that when they retire, depression, thoughts of suicide, they will cry because they're so lonely. They don't have that camaraderie of their coworkers anymore. And it's a very scary place. And that's why you should, here's a retirement tip. Never retire from something. You always want to retire to something. So never just retire retire from something and have no sense of purpose, because we are, for whatever the way we were created, we need to have some sense of purpose. And these, retired cops felt like they were just useless piece of craps, taking up space. They weren't providing any value to the universe. And so you always want to retire to something instead of retiring from something. And so if you've known any retirees, you will know that feelings of depression and uselessness is very common. So again, that's that dark and depressive side of success. You made it to retirement. You retired. Some people can't retire. They have to keep working. You meet them. The famous Walmart greeters people always talk about. It's heartbreaking to see somebody have to work, fast food or different things like that. So if you manage to, retire, that is success in my opinion. But again, the dark and depressive side of success, not many people talk about it. That when you've actually achieved retirement, that it can be a depressing place. But massive action will help you work through that, finding some sense of purpose. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this added some sense of value to your life. I hope you, even if it doesn't, just keep it in the back of your mind for later use. You take care. Talk to you soon. And I will see you in the next Philosophical Friday. All right. Bye-bye.